Bark Sanctuary, and that all of us that are at our homes joining us virtually. It's a pleasure to have you with us as we end this secular year of 2021 and we begin Shabbat. It's a pleasure this evening to have our friend, our future cantor, cantorial student, Neil Tybel, who's with us this evening to help us lead Shabbat services. As we now rise, page 4, as Neil leads us in the blessing over the candles for this Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav vetzivanu le'adlik ner vetzivanu le'adlik ner vetzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
You may be seated now as we welcome the angels of peace. Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Hasharet, page 5.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitkhem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Let's continue on page 11. Lechu neranena l'Adonai.
Lechu neranena l'Adonai, nariya letzon yisheinu, nekadma fanav betoda, vizmirot nariya lo. Lechu neranena l'Adonai, nariya letzor yisheinu, nekadma fanav betoda, bizmirot nariya lo.
Yismechu hashemayim v'tagel haaretz, page 14.
Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yiramayam, 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 Umelo, Yiramayam, 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 Umelo.
And now let us welcome the Sabbath Queen with the words of Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, page 23.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad yishmiyanu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki chimegor haberacha. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. והיו למשיסה שוסייך ורחקו כל מבלעייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כמסוס חתן על כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי. על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
And now we invite all those in mourning and all those observing a Yurtzeit to remain standing for the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, page 30. Yitzgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divrach yurtei v'yamlik malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayed dekol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yamru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam omei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol berkata v'shirata. Tishbekata v'nechemata damiram b'yama v'yamru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yamru Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yamru Amen. And let us all now rise for the Baruch Hu, page 39.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
And now let us be seated as Neil continues in the service, page 40, Ahavat Olam.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה נגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. We now turn to the Shema on page 41. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We now continue silently to the bottom of page 42. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Please join me on page 44 for Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nedar V'Kodesh Nora Nora, Nora Tehilot Osef Ele. Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Kamocha Nedar V'Kodesh Nora 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 Tehilot Osef Ele. Malchutcha ra'u banecha Okei hayam lifnei Moshe Zeili Zeili Anu ve'yameru Malchutcha ra'u banecha Okei hayam lifnei Moshe Zeili Zeili Anu ve'yameru Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar v'kodesh nora nora, nora tehilot osef ele. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar v'kodesh nora nora, nora tehilot osef ele. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar v'kodesh nora nora, nora tehilot Osef ele, Osef ele, Osef ele. We now continue with Hashkivenu on page 45. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. We continue silently to the bottom of the page. Shmor tzeitenu v'oinu l'chaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. We now continue on page 46 with Vishamru. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Now please rise, page 46.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חון וביום חון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל בגלה בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן בגלה בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ועולמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן ויאמרו אמן ויאמרו אמן ויאמרו אמן.
And now let us continue silently, page 47 through page 52. we always end our silent prayer, every Amidah, with a prayer for shalom, a prayer for peace. So we continue now with Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael v'chol leit v'chol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai HaMevarech et Amo Yisrael Vashalom.
Now let's continue with another prayer for peace. Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Shalom Aleinu, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Shalom Aleinu, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Amen. Amen.
Now we pray for well-being, for healing, for a refuah shlema, for a complete healing of all those who are ill at this time, as Neil continues to lead us now in a Misha Berach prayer.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing for us and all of those we love. Misha Berach Imoteinu Mekor bracha le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Now you may be seated as we continue with the Kiddush and Hamotzi, page 54.
יתגדל ויגדש שמי רבה, ואמר יברך ירותי, והמליך מלכותי, בחיי חון יום יחון וחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב, ימרו אמן. יש שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ועל מעלמיה יתברך, וישתבח ויפאר ויתאמר ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, וימרו אמן. תקבל סרטון ועלתון לכל ישראל, כל דם ובוני בשמיה, וימרו אמן. יש לומר רבה משמיה, וחיים עליה ועל כל ישראל, וימרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, וימרו אמן.
Thank you, Neil. Good Shabbos, everyone. Happy New Year. It's a pleasure to see so many of you here this evening. Every year, the Hebrew Academy in Israel picks a word, the most popular word of the year. And so this past week, that Hebrew Academy in Jerusalem didn't choose the Hebrew word for booster, didn't choose the Hebrew word for variant or for COVID, but chose the word tirlul, which means lunacy. Lunacy was the word that was chosen as the Hebrew word that defines 2021. It's been a year of lunacy in many ways. Many things that you and I thought we would never see, we saw, and we experienced, many of us firsthand. Whether you're in Houston or in Israel or Washington, D.C., no matter where we were, there were things that we saw, things we never could have imagined happened. It was a year of lunacy in many ways. And with all the bright spots that may have occurred in our lives and in the life of our country and our world, many things happened that really defined lunacy. And now at the eve of this new year, it's easy to be full of despair, to assume that 2022 will be worse than 2021 or 2020, to give up, to be pessimistic about the future for ourselves, our loved ones, our community, our nation, our world. And if we felt this way, we wouldn't be alone. In our Torah portion this week, Moses felt the same way. And imagine Moses, chosen by God, promised by God that he could go down to the palace of Pharaoh and simply say to Pharaoh, "Let my people go." And Pharaoh would immediately do so. Moses had the promise of God. Moses was full of confidence. And yet what happens when he goes to Pharaoh? Pharaoh not only says no, but he doubles the work of the Israelite slaves. He tells the Hebrew slaves that no longer will they have bricks, but they have to make their bricks from straw and then make the construction, the buildings that they were tasked to do. And they had no more time to do it. Their work was doubled. And so the people complained to Moses. And imagine Moses' despair. He was promised by God of a better future. And yet when he goes to Pharaoh, Pharaoh rejects his claim and doubles the work of the Hebrew slaves. You can't blame Moses for almost giving up, for wanting out of the job, for feeling that it was a time of lunacy, of tirlul. And yet how does God respond to Moses' despair? God is upset. God is angry at Moses. And according to tradition, God says to Moses, "How can you be this way? I made similar promises to the patriarchs, to the Avot, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they never despaired. I told Abraham that this land would be the land that I will show you. And yet Abraham had to pay for a burial plot for his wife Sarah. I told the same thing to his son, Isaac. And yet Isaac couldn't even find water when his servants dug for wells in that land. And I told the same thing to Jacob, that this land would be the land of your ancestors. And yet Jacob couldn't find a place to pitch his tent. But yet the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and for that matter, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, were never full of despair. They never gave up. They still trusted me. They still had faith. They still believed in the promise of a better future. You, Moses, did not. And so according to tradition, this is the main reason why Moses is shut out from ever entering the promised land. Moses didn't believe in the promise of a better future. He lost hope. And so Moses, in a way, in a very important way, is eventually punished for losing faith. No, you and I don't have to be Moses. It's easy to be full of despair. And as I said, we wouldn't be alone. Moses, as great as he was, felt the same. But can we have some of that belief that despite our present circumstances, there is still a promise of a better future for ourselves, our community, our great nation in this world? This week I read a great commentary from one of my teachers, Ilan Kershaw, and she writes, "What can God's response to Moses teach us about the way we can regard our most difficult moments?" Because no matter what happens in 2022, there will be difficult times for you and I. What can God's response to Moses teach us about how you and I can regard and deal with our most difficult moments? She writes, "All too often, the anguish of our present reality seems strikingly at odds with the future you and I hope to envision." She writes, "About a month ago, the New York Times ran a Metropolitan Diary column by a woman who remembered her first Friday night in the big city of New York. It was a freezing winter evening, and the woman was all alone. With nothing else to do, she walked up and down Broadway, looking into restaurant windows. She paused when she saw a couple sharing a pizza, each holding up their slices as if making a toast. The lonely woman, new to the city, felt sure that she would never find that sort of intimate companionship. But sure enough, 15 years later, she and her husband were sitting in a pizza shop on a cold winter night. Remembering her first Friday night in New York, she held up her slice of pizza as if making a toast. This woman's pizza toast, like God's words to Moses, is a reminder that our human perspective is limited. It's purposely limited. And only God knows when and how our destiny will ultimately unfold. And the question for you and I at the eve of a new year, rather than despairing at the bleakness of the present moment, can we raise a toast in hope and faith to a brighter, more redemptive future? Shabbat Shalom and Happy New Year. Let us now continue our service as we rise for the Aleinu, page 56.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום, והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Now again, we invite all those observing a Yurtzeit and all those in mourning to remain standing for the words of the mourner's Kaddish. This week at Bet Yeshurn, we offer condolences to the families of Dora Dina Blumenson, Donald Lipp, Marty Ebner, Sherman Ronald Markowitz, Randall J. Waldman, and Shirley Rackison. Page 58. Yitzgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalmad divrach yirutei v'yamlik machutei. V'chayekon v'yomekon v'chayei dekol beit Yisrael. Ba'agalav v'zman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mivorach leolam omea maya. Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitzba'ar v'yitromah v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudushat brechu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Tishbechata v'nechemata. Damiram b'yama v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimru amen. So we're honored this evening to celebrate 5 anniversaries. 3 couples that are here and 2 couples that are watching online from home. First, celebrating their high anniversary, 18 years of marriage, Dina and Scott Siegel. Dina and Scott, you feel great gratitude to be here this evening with your children, and of course, Dina, with your parents, and Scott, your parents are joining us online for their anniversaries. You feel blessed and are thankful for the gift of time and time to grow closer to your 2 wonderful children, Alexis and Brandon. You've seen how spending this time with them has impacted their growth emotionally and spiritually, and it's helped them, guide them to develop their moral compass, character, and individuality. It's something I see at school, and I see what wonderful young children you are raising. And I wish for the 2 of you, as you celebrate 18 years of marriage, is only more blessings, times such as these, surrounded by those you love, and only peace for many, many more years to come. Happy 18th wedding anniversary. Mazel tov. Now celebrating 51 years of marriage, Rebecca and Leon Halfin. Mazel tov. Rebecca and Leon, you're thankful that you and your family are healthy and are especially happy that you were able to reunite with your family who you had not seen in a long time. You were able to reunite with them over Thanksgiving. And I'm sure it was wonderful. And I'm glad you had that opportunity to be with them. And my prayers, you have many more times with them and all those you love this new year of 2022. May God bless you and keep you as you celebrate 51 years of marriage. Mazel tov. Celebrating 56 years of marriage, Sharon and Richard Kammerman. Mazel tov. Sharon and Richard, you actually have, as you told me, 365 good things that happened this past year. Namely, you and your family were healthy, thank God, every day during this past year. Your children and grandchildren worked hard, especially Orly, who became a bat mitzvah this past June. Thank God you're all healthy and doing well, and you thank God for all of your blessings, continued blessings. We appreciate all that you do for our community And God bless you and give you all the good things that God has given you continued this new year as you celebrate 56 years of marriage. Mazel tov. Our next two couples are joining us online, celebrating their 61st wedding anniversary, Beverly and Dave Sufyan. Mazel tov. Beverly and Dave, this past year, you celebrated your grandson Joseph's bar mitzvah in Chicago. And Beverly, you had your adult bar mitzvah with him because you also celebrated your 83rd birthday. You never had a bat mitzvah before. So I know what a special Shabbat that was as you celebrated with your entire family. It's such a special occasion. May God give you many more moments such as this year and many years to come. Happy 61st wedding anniversary. Mazel tov. And celebrating their 64th wedding anniversary, Toby and Jack Siegel. Mazel tov. Toby and Jack, as you celebrate your 64th wedding anniversary, you're very grateful that you and your entire family are well and healthy. You're also happy that your grandson, Zachary, became engaged just a few weeks ago to a young woman named Rebecca Krebs, who's from New York. And you love watching your family grow. We all do. You deserve only blessings and happiness, peace, and health. Toby and Jack, you celebrate 64 years of marriage. Mazel tov. Happy anniversary. And now just a few announcements I wanted to share with everyone. At the conclusion of our service, please join us in the Sukkah courtyard. Please look out for more information the weeks ahead as we celebrate a very special Tu B'Shvat weekend. You can go to our website calendar for more details. It's the weekend of Martin Luther King, that weekend as well, Martin Luther King's birthday. So it will be a very special weekend for all of us. At the end of January 30th, at 3:30 p.m., Rabbi Ford will be kicking off a new program called Young Parent Playdate. It's a new series for parents and children under 1 year old. And Rabbi Ford will have an opportunity to meet other parents, socialize, learn together, and hear from experts, not just on parenting, but also marriage and relationships. Babysitting will be provided, and it's a great opportunity to meet other young-minded families, to learn and to network, and to get to know Rabbi Ford even more. The deadline to RSVP is January 20th, and that program begins January 30th. Tickets are already available for our Cantors concert, celebrating the legacy of Cantor Finkelstein. That concert is March 31st, and will feature cantors from across the United States, performing Cantor Finkelstein's original compositions. You can get your tickets now because the event will soon sell out. And I hope you've received our new monthly Mazel Tov email. And we look forward to sending this out every month, celebrating and sharing good news going on in our congregation. Share your news with us so we can share it with the community. Go to our website. There's a simple form you can fill out. Good news that's happened to you. Maybe it's a new baby being born, an engagement, something that happened at work, an award you or someone in your family received. We'd love to hear about it. And most importantly, so do your fellow congregants. So go to our website to fill out the information. I want to thank Neil Teibel. Neil, it's always an honor to have you with us. I hope you'll join us tomorrow morning. Neil will be leading the davening, and Neil will be giving a Devar Torah. What's it like to be a cantorial student? What's it like to grow up in Congregation Beth Yeshurun and decide to be a conservative cantor? What's the seminary like? What's it been like during this time? So we'll have an opportunity to learn from Neil as he offers some words of Torah and to share his own personal experiences. I look forward to hearing it. It'll be tomorrow morning during our service. I hope all of you will join us. And finally, some of you may remember 22 years ago this evening, December 31st, 1999. It was not only the millennial, the turning of the century, becoming the year 2000, but it was the first night that we had our new Friday Night Live service, and it was the first night our technical director, Philip Langlis, joined us as part of the Beth Yeshurun family. We've been very honored having Philip with us now for 22 years. Thank you, Philip. Especially now, so many of our services are being watched by really hundreds, if not thousands of people every Friday night and Saturday. Of course, many people here in Houston, but people from across the globe. I'm often shocked by the emails I get from people literally all over the world that are watching our service. And we're able to do it because of Philip and his talents, his expertise, his direction. And so, Philip, we thank you for all you've done for us, and we wish you only continued health and blessings. It's an honor to have you with us at Beth Yeshurun. And so now we are ready to bring our service to a close. I'm going to ask everyone now to please rise for the Kiddush and Hamotzi. And for all our children that are with us this evening, here or online, we say to our boys, Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim ke'Menashe. May God bless you like Ephraim and Menashe, and all the good boys of the Jewish tradition. And for our daughters, we say, Yisimech Elohim ke'Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. May God bless you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And may God bless all of our children with peace this Shabbat. And we say, Amen. And I wish everyone, again, good Shabbos and Happy New Year.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shavat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh bereishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. חיים. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat.